Hello, hello, and welcome back to this, your daily second screen piece of entertainment. And in this video, we're going to talk about a couple more films in this tier of films that I see as S tier films that I watched last year. And I've been looking forward very much to talking about all of these films, of course, but particularly the two featuring in this video today, because finally, after all these years, I finally made the time to sit down and watch Blade Runner 1982 for the first time last year. And, well, it's made it into the S tier. So I can say straight out the gate, I absolutely loved it. I loved this film in a way that I didn't even know I could love a film, to be honest with you. It was some sort of the experience of watching this film late at night. I don't know if it was raining outside, I may have made a note of that, but the film, with its emphasis on moody, dark, rainy, foreign, dystopian future environment, was just like a real catharsis for me watching this film. And oh god, I can still feel the sound of those raindrops now sitting here. Honestly, I can't wait to rewatch this film just to listen to the film again. Also in this video, staying generally on point here with dystopian worlds, another film that I'm glad I made the time for. Really glad I made the time for. For the first time, I watched the original Terminator. So this is the 1984 original Terminator, only 2 years after Blade Runner. Both looked like they were 15s. Blade Runner's original rating put it around like a 14 plus, which is basically the same as where it is now. And the Terminator seems like it was originally rated at 18 when it first released. Kind of like a slasher horror kind of style. I think if you're like me and you'd only ever seen Terminator 2, more of an action kind of film, this one, the original Terminator, very much like a slasher kind of horror film. So I can see why it would have been perhaps rated 18 when it first launched, but it's 15, and I think that's more appropriate for where we're at with re-examining the film today. But yeah, the Terminator comes in at 107 minutes. We've got Blade Runner coming in at 117 minutes. So again, they both hit that sweet spot for me personally of coming in under 2 hours, which I think is a more than reasonable amount of time to devote to a film. Going down here, I can see on Letterboxd, Blade Runner wins on Letterboxd with 4.1. The Terminator came in with 3.9 at the time of recording. Rotten Tomatoes, they're very close across the board here, to be honest, with their ratings on the different sites. So Rotten Tomato critics have Blade Runner 89% and the Terminator at 90%. So the Terminator just ever so slightly ahead there. And Rotten Tomato users for Blade Runner 91%, the Terminator 89%, and IMDb seems to have them both at 8.1. Director, we have Ridley Scott for Blade Runner and James Cameron, none other than James Cameron, for the Terminator 1. Blade Runner nominated for 2 Academy Awards at the 55th Academy Awards, and from what I could see on my research earlier, the Terminator didn't get any Academy nominations, so I thought that was interesting. I'm not entirely sure why that was. Again, couldn't quite find out why that was. It seemed like it got a bit of a mixed review when it first came out, the original Terminator, so it probably maybe wasn't taken as, let's say, seriously as we sort of take it today, with in terms of its influence on both the setting and just generally on sci-fi more broadly. But let's see here, Blade Runner. Let me just remind myself, update my notes here. Best art direction, it was in the running, lost to Gandhi, and Blade Runner was in the running for best visual effects, and along with Poltergeist also losing, Blade Runner lost to E.T., a film infamously also I haven't seen, so maybe I will get around to watching E.T. one day. But Blade Runner, yeah, I can see that, the visuals, the audio, absolutely adored it in this film, and yeah, just absolutely wonderful presentation that just like an animated painting. I just wanted to be in there. I just wanted to be in there listening to that rain. I walk a lot. I'm kind of one of those odd people that actually kind of likes being out in the rain with his umbrella, having rain hitting it. It's maybe it's just soothing catharsis therapy for me, but this film, oh, the rain in Blade Runner, just absolutely immaculate. Like the sound, I'm so glad I was sat here with these headphones on the screen behind there, and oh, even just sitting and thinking about it, it's like one of the films I most. As soon as I start thinking about it again, I'm just like, I kind of really just want to watch it again. But I'm going to savour it for now. I'm going to savour it for now and get round to a rewatch at some point in the future. But Blade Runner, huge, huge thumbs up from me. Absolutely adored the film. Adored both these films. Terminator as well. So Terminator seems to be James Cameron's first outing, unless I've got that wrong. Blade Runner, I think by the point of Blade Runner releasing, I think that was not necessarily Ridley Scott's first film. I think he'd already had a film by then. Yeah, so the Terminator, beg your pardon, so Cameron had two films prior to the Terminator, and Ridley Scott had he'd also had two films prior to Blade Runner. Of course, he did Alien in 1979. So, but yeah, there's a broad, loose connective tissue with Blade Runner and the Terminator, the original. I think in terms of it kind of having, it's got that kind of late 70s, mid 80s. Let's kind of play around with physical animatronics in the Terminator and physical space in Blade Runner. I mean, this is just. I think if you're looking for, again, like more of like a slasher horror kind of vibe, maybe go for the Terminator. And then I think if you're looking for something with Blade Runner that's just it's just so satisfying. Like I think the word is just satisfying. It's just so satisfying to watch. I think it's interesting because Blade Runner is 1982, but it's set based on their vision of 2019. So it's also interesting watching it in 2025 to see kind of how they thought, technology and things might head. I suppose like 37 years into the future. I think Harrison Ford is good in this. I think the villain towards the end there, is it Rutger Hauer? Towards the end, and I'll be honest, I don't really recognise any of these actors on here. I'm absolutely terrible. I only really know Harrison Ford from this list, so I'll have to go away and do some homework on the other actors in this film and see how their careers turned out. But we all know that Harrison Ford has made a career for himself as Indiana Jones and Star Wars mostly, but I thought he was good in this as Rick Deckard, based on a novel by Philip K. Dick. So some more research for me to do there. But Blade Runner, just for the rain alone, like Blade Runner is worth watching. Honestly, 2 hours of your time, I think, well spent. Try and do it in the dark as well. I don't know. It's just something about these kind of dark, moody films and watching them after dark that I just think adds to them. So, yeah, strong recommendation for Blade Runner and also for the Terminator. I mean, what is there to say about the Terminator? I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger is in there. We got Michael Biehn as Kyle Reese and Lynn Hamilton as Sarah Connor. So, I thought they were all three of them strong performances. Yeah, I think in terms of Schwarzenegger's acting, I mean, I think it works perfectly in this in terms of him being a Terminator. I don't know, maybe it's, with the passage of time and hindsight is the word I'm looking for. Hindsight is a wonderful thing because obviously, I've come to appreciate Schwarzenegger in other things since I've grown up, but being able to go back and appreciate him in this original Terminator film, I think it's I like what Cameron was doing with this film. I like the fact it was more horror. I haven't seen all of the Terminator films, I must admit, and I didn't see the Sarah Connor Chronicle TV show, so perhaps I will go away and watch some of that. But yeah, just yeah, two films very much worth your time if you're into sort of sci-fi dystopian worlds. If, like me, underneath all of your positive vibrancy that you try to project into the world, there's this deep-seated, deep down in your subconscious kind of pessimism for where we are as a species and how much we've really deserve to be on this planet and living in this timeline. Um, Blade Runner and the Terminator could help. It might help you feel a bit more heard and a bit more felt. So yeah, I think Blade Runner and the Terminator stand the test of time, and it look even better potentially with modern sort of technologies. So I can't speak to the 4K Blu-rays on basically any of these films I'm talking about. By the way, I don't know how any of those Blu-rays or 4K Blu-rays have turned out, but I was happy with what I was seeing on Amazon for these two films. So yes, double thumbs up for Blade Runner and the Terminator. And with that being said, I'm going to wrap this video up because we will next get into the absolute top of my pyramid. So very, very exciting. Yeah, I've enjoyed reflecting on these films I watched last year, and thank you for listening, watching Second Screening, and I'll hope to potentially have you listen to me in one of my future videos here. So until then, farewell.